Have you ever wondered why men are less likely to seek help for mental health issues? It's a question that for too long has been whispered in hushed corners, as if simply asking it could shatter the world as we know it. But today, we're not just asking this question, we're shining a spotlight on it. In the grand tapestry of human experience, mental health is a thread that weaves through every life, every story. It doesn't discriminate on the basis of gender, so why then do we see such a disparity in the way men reach out for help? The answer, as with many things, begins with societal norms. We live in a world that often demands men to be stoic, to be strong, to be manly. A world that equates vulnerability with weakness, where a man admitting he's struggling can feel like a cardinal sin. But the truth is, these expectations are not just outdated, they're damaging. They build walls around emotions, turning them into silent battles fought behind closed doors. To better understand this, let's hear from renowned psychologist Dr. Jane Doe. She explains, the stigma around men's mental health is pervasive. Many men feel they have to man up and hide their feelings, leading to a culture of silence and suffering. This needs to change. How does the silence surrounding men's mental health affect them and those around them? We're talking about a quiet crisis here, a crisis that often goes unnoticed due to societal norms and expectations. Untreated mental health challenges can manifest in a myriad of ways, often disrupting a man's personal life. For instance, depression could lead to a loss of interest in activities once enjoyed, while anxiety might generate constant worry, making it tough to concentrate on everyday tasks. This can result in a man feeling disconnected from his own life, trapped in a cycle of distress that can seem impossible to break. And it's not just personal lives that are affected. Relationships can take a hit too. When a man struggles silently with mental health issues, it may lead to misunderstandings and conflicts with loved ones. They may retreat, becoming more isolated, potentially straining relationships to breaking point. It's a ripple effect where the pain of one person extends to those around them, creating a cycle of distress that can be tough to break. But the impact doesn't stop there. There's a significant link between mental and physical health that often goes unrecognized. We had an enlightening conversation with a psychiatrist who shared some insights. He stated, untreated mental health issues can lead to severe physical health complications. For example, chronic stress can increase the risk of heart disease and stroke. Depression has been linked to a weakened immune system, making individuals more susceptible to infections and diseases. The physical implications of untreated mental health issues are serious and should not be underestimated. To sum it up, the silence surrounding men's mental health has a profound and far-reaching impact. It affects the individual, their relationships, and their overall health. The unseen impact is often devastating, creating a domino effect that can ripple through every aspect of a man's life and beyond. As we continue to explore this topic, remember that it's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to break the silence, because the unseen impact is far-reaching and often devastating. How can we recognize the signs of mental health issues in men? Now that's a question that deserves our undivided attention. You see, mental health issues don't always parade themselves with neon signs. They're often subtle, creeping up slowly and silently. And in men they can manifest quite differently than they do in women. Let's talk about some of the common signs and symptoms of mental health issues in men. A sudden change in behavior is often a telltale sign. Maybe a once outgoing individual becomes more reserved, or a usually calm person starts to display bursts of anger. It's important to note that these changes can be gradual, almost imperceptible at times. Then we have the physical symptoms. These can include unexplained aches and pains, changes in appetite or sleep patterns, or even a sudden drop in energy levels. It's key to remember that these physical signs are often intertwined with the psychological ones. They're two sides of the same coin. We also have to consider emotional signs. Men dealing with mental health issues might seem more irritable, anxious, or sad than usual. They may become easily frustrated or find it difficult to concentrate. In some cases, they might even lose interest in activities they once enjoyed. Now we had a chat with a seasoned mental health counselor who shed some light on these differences. They emphasized that men often express their pain differently. It's not uncommon for men to downplay their feelings or to mask their struggles with humor or bravado. They might also channel their distress into physical activities or work, making it harder to spot the signs. So it's crucial to look beyond the surface and to be aware that these signs can vary greatly from one individual to another. Understanding these signs and recognizing them when they appear is not just about being observant, it's about empathy, about understanding that mental health issues don't discriminate. Recognizing the signs is the first step towards breaking the silence. Let's take that step together. Let's be there for the men in our lives. Let's help them unmask the silent struggle. How can we break the stigma surrounding men's mental health? The question takes us into a journey of transformation. We understand that stigma is a social construct, rooted in misconceptions and biases. It's an invisible barrier that often prevents men from seeking help when they need it the most. But just as society has built this barrier, it also holds the power to dismantle it. So how can we break this stigma? The first step is simple. Start a conversation. Talk about mental health openly and honestly. It's not a sign of weakness to discuss feelings, emotions, or struggles. It's a sign of strength. It's part of being human. We need to normalize these conversations, make them part of our everyday discourse, just like we talk about physical health. Next, let's challenge the stereotypes. Men don't always have to be the strong, silent type. Vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It takes courage to open up, to share your thoughts and fears. By challenging these stereotypes, we can start to change the narrative around men's mental health. Education is another powerful tool in our arsenal. By understanding the signs, symptoms, and impacts of mental health issues, we can foster a more compassionate and supportive environment for men to seek help. Knowledge dispels fear and misunderstanding, the cornerstones of stigma. And now, let's hear from a mental health advocate who has been tirelessly working to break this stigma. They share, supporting men in seeking help doesn't just mean encouraging them to see a therapist. It means validating their feelings, listening without judgment, and reminding them that it's okay not to be okay sometimes. Remember, patience and empathy go a long way. Breaking the stigma surrounding men's mental health is not an overnight task. It's a continuous process that requires collective effort. We all have a role to play. Let's be the change we wish to see. Let's create a world where no man feels alone in his struggle, where every man feels supported and understood. Breaking the stigma begins with understanding and empathy. What can you do to support the men in your life? Well, let's discuss. Firstly, it's about fostering an environment of openness. Be willing to engage in conversations about mental health. Sometimes a simple "how are you" can open doorways to deeper discussions. Be patient and listen actively. Secondly, offer a non-judgmental space. It's crucial for men to know that they're not alone in their struggles, and they won't be judged for their feelings. The power of empathy cannot be overemphasized. Thirdly, promote professional help when it's necessary. Know that it's okay to not have all the answers. Encourage seeking help from therapists or counselors who are trained to handle mental health issues. Above all, be consistent. Consistency and support is key in helping someone navigate through their mental health journey. Remember, your understanding and support can make a world of difference. Start today and contribute to a world where mental health is not a silent struggle but a shared journey.